Hello and welcome to a look at Ninja Gaiden 2 for the Amiga, a game that was released by Gametek. Now to quickly go over the background for this game. A year after the events of the original Ninja Gaiden, a new villain named Ashtar receives word of Jaqua, or whatever he's called, defeat. Ashtar uses this opportunity to hatch a new plan to plunge the world into darkness. The ninja, Ryu Hayabusa, hits the trail to destroy all manners of wild creatures entering the world while fighting his way to destroy Ashtar, his dark sword of chaos, and whatever else is behind the evil. In this game, you are, as you could likely imagine, in control of Ryu Hayabusa, a name I will return to later on in this video. And you have to navigate several different platform levels while picking up power-ups and fighting off bad guys and bad bats and bad birds and bad whatever in order to reach the end of the level and eventually bump into a boss that will absolutely crush you. You have various different power-ups you can gather, such as ninja magic and ninja stars, and a new power-up for this series, which is shadows, where Ryu Hayabusa will spawn one or two shadows of himself that will use whatever abilities he's using with a slight delay attached to them. By default, he has his trusty katana, the dragon sword thing, whatever, which he can use to slash at the baddies, whatever type they may be. While jumping around and defeating enemies, he has to be very mindful of the fact that there are pits, or not pits, but they are effectively pits that he can fall into, and of course jumping over said pits is usually a good idea. One thing that was added to Ninja Gaiden 2 compared to the original Ninja Gaiden is Ryu Hayabusa's ability to hang on to ledges, which is, I suppose, a cool little funky thing. Remember that I'm fairly sure the original NES version of Ninja Gaiden 1 was from 1987. I could be wrong on that point. But that is the general description of the gameplay kind of thing, and I'm going to be spending the next 6 minutes of this video ranting. Not quite, but close. Let's do the technical side of things and get that done with, because it's a relatively simple thing to do, to be honest. From a graphical point of view, this game basically looks like the NES version of the same game, without the flicker, and brighter colors, more distinct colors, you could say. Nothing in this game graphically in any way, shape or form feels 16-bit. It is not ugly, but it is definitely not particularly good looking either. The graphics movement I will get back to once I do an overview kind of thing at the end of this video, which I always like to do. Sound effects are what you would expect from the NES version of this game, not necessarily what you would expect from the Amiga version of this game, and the same goes for the music. It doesn't stand out, it's acceptable, not exciting, but I mean, you can tolerate it to listen to it because it just disappears in the background anyway. The controls, though. There's a game for the Amiga, an arcade conversion called Cabal, which I consider to be one of the worst control schemes ever, because this game, Cabal, have you holding down the fire button 95% of your playtime, and someone decided that throwing hand grenades should be done by holding down the fire button and moving down in the joystick at the same time, instead of in every other conversion use the space bar, or you could have used one of the Amiga keys on Alt key or minus key on the keypad. But no, that was considered to be good design. The control setup in this game makes Cabal's control design seem like a brilliant idea. Bearing in mind, of course, Amigas will only use one button joystick, so normally you would use up to jump and that kind of stuff, but nope, in this game you use the fire button to jump, relegating your sword slashes and use of special weapons to the angles of the joystick. That means, of course, that in order to fire off your special weapons, you have to be in the air most of the time and using an angle while hitting the fire button in the air. Rather bizarre, rather impossible to aim, and you find yourself constantly firing off your spiffy ninja magic anywhere and everywhere, likely when you don't want to. And of course, when you're scaling walls and things like that, you're considered to be in the air, so if your controller is remotely off, straight down or straight up, you will happily throw your ninja magic left, right and center. Ooh, yeah. The controls are garbage at a level of incredible. It is unbelievable that someone could design such a control scheme and say, well, this play is fine, let's just ship it as it is. Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden 2 for the Nintendo Entertainment System were legendary games in their own rights, and understandably so, because they are of a good pace, they play well, they flicker like crazy, but I mean, it's a Nintendo Entertainment System, got about the same horsepower as a dead squirrel. But all things aside, those games are entirely playable and entirely enjoyable. Whoever converted this game did not try to make a foundation built of Amiga version. It feels like they tried to emulate the Nintendo Entertainment System and messed that up big time, incredibly so. The character of Ryu Hayabusa, of course, was used in later games, possibly most famously Ninja Gaiden Black. It was initially an exclusive on the original Xbox, yeah, the old Xbox, and Ninja Gaiden Black is, in my opinion, likely one of the best action-adventure fighting games ever made, even to this day. Now, it would be incredibly easy for me just to sit here and say, oh, this game sucks, but it's too simple a thing to do. Because, despite the fact that the graphics moves like a 16-wheeler with punctured tires, despite the fact that the sound in general is quite underwhelming, despite the fact that the controls are abysmally poor, the gameplay flow underneath all of that is surprisingly excellent. Once you can get the hang of it, and I mean, you'd probably give up fighting controls, but there is a natural flow to the gameplay that I can't help but enjoy. If the original NES versions of the original games remotely has the same gameplay flow, I can easily understand why so many people enjoy speedrunning those games. But controls being what they are, Ryu Hayabusa having a hitbox the size of a small oil tanker completely and utterly wrecks this game. And finally, why would a stealthy ninja run around in a bright oil suit? On that note, thanks for watching, take care, see you next time, bye bye for now.